Welcome to the Gag Is podcast with me, your host, Charlie Shante, where I share the roller coaster of my life, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. After becoming a teen mom at 14 and a widow by the age of 21, it's a journey filled with tears and laughter, reminding you that even in the toughest moments, there's hope. The gag is, life may be unpredictable, but it's always worth living.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of TheGagIsPod. I am your girl, Charlie Shante. Thank you for joining me on another episode. And hopefully the audio is better today because last week I did not realize that I did not have I didn't realize that I had the audio set up incorrectly. Bear with me today because, as y'all can tell, I don't feel very well, but I still got to get this content and got to get this episode out to you. And I feel like since I don't feel very well today, I feel like I won't get as emotional with this episode. So before we do anything, make sure you're liking, subscribing anywhere you listen to this podcast at. Make sure you're following us over on YouTube as well. So not only can you get the audio version, but you can also get the video version as well. Oh my gosh, I had a brain fart. So let's go ahead and jump into today. Today, how do I want to start this off? Today. I feel like in today's age of social media, there are a lot of things, it's a platform. People get on there, they can talk about whatever they want, they can say whatever they want, and they have no bounds and no boundaries. So today's topic, it hits close to home, and it's something that I've been noticing. We're in the middle of a conflict right now, and unfortunately, individuals are still giving up the ghost during this conflict. And so if you're new here, I'm just going to give you a little backstory. I have my notes, y'all. I've been doing so good with my notes. I said when I came back that I was going to make sure that I had my notes so that I'm not all over the place. So today I'm going to talk about grief and mockery because some of y'all seem to think that it's okay to mock deceased people and it's okay to mock their families. And let me be the first to tell you that that is not okay. And it gets you, especially with me. I got a little thicker skin, but it's disrespectful on so many levels. Like I can't even begin to speak about how disrespectful it is. Everybody grieves differently. And this episode, it reflects me and my journey and my thoughts and views and nobody else's. I'm just trying to give y'all the information to keep y'all from getting them hands put on y'all because everybody don't play the same. Everybody don't have thick skin. It's not going to work out for everybody. Some people are going to get in their emotions and they may hurt you. And you do not want that. So for me, my husband has been deceased for 19 years. And I know y'all like, dang, like you look super young. Yes. Happened 19 years ago, super, super young. I was 21. He was 24. I was 20. Yes, I had just turned 21 when it happened. So now I'm 40. So most of my 20s and my 30s, all of have been stricken with grief and dealing with the loss of my spouse. I'm gonna try to stay on task and stay on topic. So y'all bear with me. If this episode seems a little rushed, I do apologize. Like I said, I don't feel good. And I probably should have waited to film this episode, but I'm trying to be more consistent and things like that. But I digress. Over the 19 years, my grief has changed in all kind of ways because I've had some highs and some super highs, and I've had some lows that is just like, I can't even deal anymore. Everybody's journey is different. And you have to allow everybody to have their own journey and everything like that. One thing I will say is stop giving people who are grieving timelines. Timelines are meant for history classes, not people's grief journey. Everybody's different. Everybody's the same, not the same. What the way you see one person dealing with it is not the same way that another person is dealing with it. You may see some people that may lose their spouse and they can get up and pick up and go on and keep their hurt inside and act like something never happened. And then you may have somebody else over here who is just can't get out the bed or anything like that. And both are perfectly fine because you never know when it is going to hit you. For me, I was in a state of shock, state of belief. But then I got up and I started laughing. I started hee-heeing and ha-ha. And then it was time to go and identify him and get him from the airport. I lost it. I was in shambles like all over again. So and for the past 19 years, it's been like that. It's been like, this is my husband. This is my best friend. I've lost my partner. And I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. And then other times I'm like, he's always with me and I give myself permission to move on. And then there's other days it's like, how dare you even think that you should move on? Everybody grieves different. There is no set time limit. There is no set timeline in what happens because I've had anniversaries, our wedding anniversary, his birthday, my birthday. Yeah, unexpected triggers. The first year, he died in the beginning of the year. He died in February. So he died 10 days before Valentine's Day. And I always tell the story that I received a Valentine's Day card from him after he passed away. And to this day, I still have that Valentine's Day card packed away, and safe. And I will always I've never shown anybody that card or anything. That's just mine because nobody needs to lay eyes on it. That's my personal item. His birthday just happened, I believe, to fall on Thanksgiving that year. And I was like, OMG. And then my birthday is 2 weeks later. And I'm like, man, like just last year he was singing me happy birthday. And this year he just looking over me and going, I wish I could tell you happy birthday, but you already know, I want you to have the most wonderfulest birthday ever. And then you have those unexpected triggers. You could see something, smell something. Somebody can say something and it would just trigger you. And you don't know what that trigger is. You don't know when it's going to come. So there's nothing that you can do to avoid said triggers. I don't know if I would be in the same boat I'm in now, like in the same space I'm in now, if social media was as heavy as it is now when he passed away back then. When he passed away, we had Facebook and what is it called? MySpace, I think it was. I don't even think Facebook had really gotten big, but it was more MySpace. And I just couldn't imagine because we didn't have the Go Live feature and the AI and making fake videos and clipping fake videos. When I see someone going through what I've been through now in the public eye, my heart screams because I'm like, ain't no way. Because I've seen some of these posts and I might have to come find the user behind this profile because we got to catch it. We got to run this fade because you are disrespectful. If you sit on a computer and you mock people who have died protecting your freedom, you are a different kind of sick individual. And I mean that wholeheartedly. I seen a video, an AI generated video of a woman and her child welcoming home a deceased service member. And if that did not burn me up to the it just burned me up, because why are you being disrespectful like that when there are real families out there that are going like that? And I think the video had some little girl saying something like, "I love you, daddy," or "Welcome home, daddy," or something like that. Why would y'all even play in people's face like that? That is so, so disrespectful. And if you were in my shoes and countless other men and women's shoes who have lost their spouse, you would 1000% be disrespected and be ready to fade somebody. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. I remember when I was in school and teaching, and I don't know how it came up. I have my husband's name tattooed on my arm. I don't know how it came up, but a student got fed up with me one day, and he said, "I see why your husband died, to get away from you." Wow. Like, people, I just don't understand people's rationale. Like, why would you mock? Why would you use that type of, out of anything you could, like, deceased people is where you is what does it for you? Like, that's crazy. Like, mm, but like I said, people use the screen and hide behind the screen to talk about and to mock people, not realizing that the people, or us people on the other end, we're real people. We mock us for what? What is that? That makes you feel good on the inside? That makes you feel good to know that you are the bane of somebody's sadness, somebody's upset, because you don't know what state of mind people are in. You don't know what could be their 13th reason. And you want to get a kiki and get a rise and get views and all of this kind of stuff. And so you mock families of the fallen. Get yourself together. Because, mm, mm, mm. And what people often don't understand is grief doesn't have a time frame. It's been 19 years and I still have my moments. They don't call them as often as they used to, but I still have my moments, and you never know when it's gonna come. Like, grief is like a roller coaster. You have your highs, you have your lows, and the thing is, when you have your lows, you got to know how to deal with your lows. You got to know how to get out of the lows. You just got to know. And like I've always said, this past year, I've really had to dig in, even though it's been 19 years. I've really had to dig in, and I can say the things that I've learned from therapy, group sessions, and things like that. The things that I have learned over the past 19 years have definitely, I would say 18 years, because now I'm in year 19, have definitely helped me. And I 1000%, anybody that has lost a spouse, a partner, or anything, therapy is it. I don't care what nobody say. Therapy is it. Individual and group. I will stand on that hill. That therapy is where it's at. I stand on that hill. Unsolicited advice. So I'm gonna jump in between some different topics and different stuff like that. Just dealing with it, because this episode, I don't know if it's still going to be called this or not. It's called Grief and Mockery, but I'm not sure that this is going to continue to be the title. I just have to wait until I'm finished recording this, go back and listen and edit it, and see what I come up with. My next topic or area of discussion is going to be unsolicited advice. Now, I'm not upset with people, because I know that y'all be having the best intentions. We don't be wanting to hear some of the stuff y'all be having to say. You need to move on. What? How can I just lost my forever partner and you tell me I need to move on? Like, excuse me? You broke up with somebody 10 years ago and they still alive and you still can't get over me. You want me to get over somebody that's deceased? Oh, okay. Cool. When you get over it, I'll get over it. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah, everything happens for a reason, but don't make it like my individual being deceased is like some kind of karma or something like that. Like everything happens for a reason. Dang, okay. Cool, but watch tone. Watch tone. God needed another angel. We all got to get up out of here someday. But, telling us things like, God needed another angel and, the angel he just happened to need. Okay, like it's a way to say different stuff. And some of y'all are going to be like, well, I don't think it's anything wrong. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with these words, but some of y'all be having ill intents and I'm learning to see through a lot of that BS. He's in a better place. I don't disagree. But did he have to be in that better place now? Like, I don't disagree with none of the things that are said. That's not what I mean. It's a time and a place for everything. Sometimes y'all be saying stuff and it don't need to be said right then and there. It just don't because you think it should be said. It don't need to be it don't need to be said because when y'all say these things, y'all pretty much dismiss our feelings and how we feel, how we are supposed to just like y'all treat it like a 12-step course, and it's not a 12-step course. It could be a 12-step course, but on these 12 steps, you're gonna go forward and then you're gonna go back, and you're gonna go forward and you're gonna go back, and that's gonna be like that for the rest of your life. You have no control and no say so over it. You learn how to deal with it. You learn how to manage it, but forever. It's gonna be step up, step back. It's gonna be like a line dance. We just stepping up and we stepping back. We stepping up and we stepping back. That's just what it's going. That's just what it's going to be. There are better ways to support someone. And I just told somebody this the other day. Instead of asking what we need, just do. Because if people that's in your corner or the people that's closest to you, they should know how you operate. They should know what you need. So instead of asking, well, what do you need? Or just tell me what you need. It's not that easy because we don't know what we need. We dealing with something that we've never dealt with before. So how do like if I break a fingernail, I know I'm gonna go get the clippers and I know I'm gonna cut the excess off and go get it fixed or wait for it to heal or whatever. I could do that a bunch of times because I've had that happen and I know how to handle that. I've never lost a spouse before. So if I've never lost a spouse before, how am I supposed to handle something that I've never experienced before? Have I seen other people? Yes, but I'm not them. I'm me. And I have to deal with this in my own way. Um, that's just, you want to support somebody, do, not ask. Simple as that. And when you do it, make sure you're doing it with good intentions. But again, my circle, solid. So I had some infiltrators and we'll discuss that. It'll be discussed somewhere down the line, just not today. But if they're around you and they tighten it, they should already know what you need and do for you. Um, and do for you. So after the funeral, nobody ever talks about what happens when the funeral is over with and everybody goes home and people go back to living their lives and now you're stuck. You're stuck finding a new normal. The loneliness after the visitors stop coming and you have to return to work and learn routine and people leave and they go, if you need something, just call me. I'm in a vulnerable state, like you call me like it's like you're 911. Like What do you mean just call you? Do I have to call you? That's the only way you'll know how I'm feeling? Like, you're not going to check on me too? It's not like a two-way street. And I think people forget that. I think people come around and they get gratification out of being around after it happened, so that they be like, yeah, I was there, after it happened, and this, that, and the third. And that's not always a good look, because everybody's there in the beginning. Who's there when it's all said and done and the smoke clears? That's the real important thing. You got to return to work, or whatever you do. And at that time I was in the military, so I had to go back to work, and everybody's just like, working in a military environment where your spouse passed away in the military. It's very, very challenging. 0 out of 10 don't recommend. I still had to go back to work, and I had to find a new normal. And there were days where I was just driving to work crying, because I'm like, this is crazy. And then after he passed, my unit was scheduled to go to where he had passed away. And I was like, I don't know how I'm finna do this. But we got these kids. How I'm finna go to the same place? These people, this man just passed away. Like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I had to eventually learn a routine. And the hardest thing of the routine was not getting his phone calls, not getting his video messages. That took some getting used to. I would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, he's calling, or I missed his call. And that I feel like that was the hardest part. AI grief videos. Now, I done already kind of touched on this, and I was just doing some thinking, and some of the reasons that I came up with why these AI generated videos feature deceased loved ones could be helping preserve memories. I get that. I understand that. But these are very distasteful videos. I wouldn't want my loved one. I wouldn't want my loved one remembered like that. I've seen ones where they're bringing the soldier off the plane, and like the casket fall off the thing. And I'm like, that is the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen in my life. Because what? To new technology, you want to see what you can do with creating tribute videos. I think is a good thing, because you take some memories and you create a video, and little keepsake, something, set it to a little music. Anything outside of that, downright disrespectful. It's coming from me. These are my point of views. Downright disrespectful. Please don't do that to my man. Don't do that. I don't like that. Like, come talk to me first before you do something like that. Like, don't disrespect my man like that. Don't disrespect his family like that. Don't, please. Don't do that. And so that brings me to my next point. When does it become disrespectful? Is there a line between honoring someone's memory and exploiting this? Like I said a few minutes ago, I kind of touched on that. You're doing it for clicks, you're doing it for you doing it for views. Should people be able to recreate a deceased individual's memory without the consent of their family? And I've done some research on that, and there are laws that prevent the use and likeness of a deceased individual without their family's written consent or whatever. But y'all just out here doing it. But then, somebody come and sue y'all gonna want to be hooping and hollering, talking about some, I didn't mean it. Before y'all out here doing this stuff, y'all need to. There are real consequences out here when you do stuff like that. Like I said, I don't know how I would do in today's world, knowing, like, if I've seen some of the stuff that's being done, and it was me, my spouse, you finna have to come see me. Just as simple as that, because it's disrespectful. So in closing, grief has no timeline. Stop putting timelines on people. I remember my first Thanksgiving. I went to my mother-in-law's house and she told me that it's cold outside and I need to go find somebody. And I was like, all right. And that was the last time I spoke to her. And I ain't spoke to that lady in 19 years, 18 years. Moving along. Everybody deserves a space to mourn in their own ways. Like I said, my group is tight knit, so they know when something's wrong. They know the anniversaries. They know everything. They have a plan in place. They have a rescue plan in place for me. That's how tight my group is. It's a plan in place. I invite you guys, if you've experienced grief in any capacity, spouse, any capacity, friend, or anything like that, what helped you get through your grief? Like, I want to know, like, what helped you get through your grief, and what do you wish people would understand? If you lost a spouse, what do you wish people would understand about losing a spouse? Like, what helped you, and what did you say to people that were like, let me explain this to you, and people were like, oh, okay, I got it, good. And then finally, what are your thoughts about strangers using AI to make videos of fallen soldiers? Do you think that's okay? Do you think there should be tighter restrictions on that? Is it okay with the family's consent and permission? I just want to know your thoughts on that. And that's all I really got for y'all. Be kind. Be kind. Because you never know what someone is going through. Us families of the fallen, we are real people. After the cameras are gone, after everybody has sent their letter and their declarations, all of that. When all of it's said and done, we are real people and we have real emotions and we have to deal with that. So I just ask, be nice, be kind. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and sharing. I really would appreciate that. And just make sure you share. My materials for everybody. It's not just secluded for people who have lost their spouses or anything like that. I make content about grief, raising kids through grief, and then just showing how I have gotten over and I'm living my life past grief. So you get this podcast and you get the vlog as well. And just to make it simple, I've kept it all on one channel. All right. So my song lyric of the week is going to be Mariah Carey, Hero. I love that song. That song makes me cry every time I hear it. I love you, baby. Mr. Spencer, you're my everything. Doing this for you and for me. And until next time, I am your girl, Charlie Shante. This is the TheGagIsPod. Bye, guys.
Thank you for tuning into the Gag Is podcast. I hope you're enjoying my journey as much as I am enjoying sharing it with you. Before we wrap up, I have a small request. If you found inspiration in my stories or my guest stories, don't forget to share this podcast with your friends and family. Together, we can spread the message of resilience and hope. And if you have a moment, please take a second to rate and review the show on your podcast app. 5 stars, please. Your feedback helps me reach even more listeners who might need a dose of encouragement. Remember, the gag is, life may be unpredictable, but it's always worth living. So until next week, bye guys.